Gentlemen, next, live right here from Dallas, Texas, coronavirus free, back in the studio, our first day back with the one, the only, Aaron Lemmon for the 1-year checkup coming up right now on Cliff's Notes. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so excited to be back with you. Not in front of my fireplace with a webcam, but we're actually in the studio with my good friend Travis. Man, have we missed you.
Man, I missed you guys too, man. I wish you had brought the fireplace with you, though. That might have been a good little scene for us.
We could have had s'mores and all kinds of stuff going on with that,
exactly.
Right? Yeah. And who's that running co-pilot with you back there today?
Man, my good buddy, C3 in the building.
What's going on, Mr. Freeman?
C3, what's going on? How you doing? Man, we miss you out here, but we're trying to social distance, you know.
Got to keep the distance.
We got to social distance.
6 feet.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what. My good friend Aaron Lemmon is here, and this is a historic moment in the life of Cliff's Notes because it was about almost to the week, exactly a year ago, that Aaron was the first guest on episode number 1 of Cliff's Notes, and he's back. And man, has he got a story to share with you guys. It has been a wild roller coaster ride for you since the last show, Aaron, hasn't it?
It has. It really has been wonderful.
Well,
it's been a good roller coaster.
I mean, we're gonna unpack some huge value. If you guys will just please get your legal pad out, your pen ready. Aaron is going to just unpack everything that he's done to explode his business. He's got additional pillars of income now. He's going to tell you all about that. But, you know, let's start out. Let's get right to the meat of the coconut here, Aaron. I know that the audience is wondering, all right, so what's the big deal? Let's talk numbers here. Sure. Take us back, if you would, like you did a year ago, but update it with what's gone on in the last 12 months. So let's go back to that day you got into real estate. How was your first year? You probably had sold 10 houses your first month, right?
Not the first month, no. Thank you for bringing it all the way back there. It was, for me, my first year was 14 homes. So that was my first 12 months.
That's twice the NAR average.
Man. I felt good about that. But yes, so that's where it all started back in long time ago in 2017.
2017. So that's really pretty good out of the gate because you know, in those days, what kind of training and lead generation and help did you have to get you through the first year?
So I did have a fantastic mentor to start things out.
Okay.
It's impossible to look back and to know exactly everything you need to do first day out of the gate. But I would have loved to have had more, online lead generation stuff going. But for the most part, really it was just service. I mean, it was open houses, meeting people. I moved to, for those of you that have not gone back to watch episode 1 yet, I moved here from another market. So it really was starting from scratch.
Right. It's like somebody dropped you off on a desert island and said, go sell real estate, right?
That is how it felt. Thankfully, There were houses.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no kidding. So let's talk about year 2 because you and I met really toward the end of your first year.
Yes. So right in the middle of the first year, I started looking around, and as so many things in life, whenever things feel like maybe a door's closing, a window really does fly open. And it'd be foolish for me to say that meeting you and talking about EXP was not that open window. That happened, and really that's been a huge pivot point, leverage point in my career. and it's just gotten better and better, truly. And so we'll get to that at some point on today's show.
Okay, but numbers wise, I mean, this year I know we had a huge setback. You had a great year last year.
I did.
What are your goals right now for your fiscal third year?
Yeah, I've not changed any of my annual goals.
Okay.
For me, that's four deals a month. I'd like to get to 48 transactions a year. That's what I believe that my personal team, just my admin and transaction coordinator and lead generation systems, that Aaron Lemmon can do. 48.
And so your anniversary with us is what, February?
Yes.
Okay, and you're capping next month?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And so if you do 48 deals, what does that do for you? What is, when you get to 48? That's a lot of transactions.
It is. Yeah, they do. I mean, certainly.
What happens to your split and stuff? And
well, I mean, after capping, so at EXP, it's fantastic. It goes basically to 100% after capping.
No royalty fees, no franchise fees.
No royalty fees at all, and it's so for my family, it pays our bills, right? I mean, so at the end of the day, that's where we want to definitely make sure that the basic needs are taken care of. Mm-hmm. At EXP, that would put me at icon status.
Okay, what's that all about?
So the icon status is getting back the cap fee I paid in, $16,000 back in company stock. And that really is one of the reasons I came over. The stock available at EXP that you can earn by bringing people to join EXP. You can earn by capping. You can earn by doing your job,
okay.
And then also set aside money for stock. And it's that piece, the equity piece at EXP, is still one of the most exciting parts of the income stream.
Well, yeah, it's never before been available. You know, I mean, that's one thing that our founder, Glenn Sanford, made sure of is he wanted to be in total alignment with the agents in the company. And, to do that, you got to get joined at the hip, and that's what the stock does for us.
You do.
So.
I mean, but speaking of Glenn, I mean, just real quick, I mean, he's taking the company beyond what's happening on the daily serving real estate professionals. I mean, there are companies that EXP is acquiring to do a lot more. He is still he's in my EXP presentation when we talk to other people about his visionary. He's amazing.
Yeah. And what's amazing, and we can talk about this now because we have just come out of a 6 or 7 week lockdown here in the entire country. The world is in lockdown.
Yes.
And a lot of other companies in our industry are talking about a pivot. What do you think about that?
I mean, so what I talk about with Meredith, who's my wife, we talk about a lot is to don't want to get lost in the weeds. There's still families that are going to have to move, maybe some for negative reasons, job loss or other things. But at the end of the day, my job is to serve families that need to purchase a new home or sell their home. And that's what I'm focused on. And for me, that has not changed. There's still people that have to move. And so to get stuck in the idea of needing to pivot or change the core of who I am in my business I'm trying to truly not let that distract me.
Yeah, I think even on a larger scale, companies are trying to pivot because they're stuck in brick and mortar. And we went through this transition as a company, did it impact your business at all?
No.
I mean, other than the fact that listings are down and
no,
so
because we've been in the cloud. I mean, and you've talked about that before. And for folks that know EXP, I definitely had been taking it for granted that it was something we were already used to doing. All of our training was online. I'm doing more online than ever before. I still love meeting people and shaking hands, but
for sure.
But everything was online. So the idea of now struggling to schedule a meeting with a broker to answer some question that I need help on is still the same. It's almost instant. You log into the world. That's been fantastic.
Right. Let's move into another topic. Let's talk about lead generation, because you and we had an interesting discussion over lunch a few minutes ago, and we're both Zillow free for how long now? Has it been a year?
It's been a year.
Yeah. Zillow free. A lot of agents can't live without Zillow.
Well, they think they can't, right? I mean, and that's the challenge, right? Is to find a way. to get off of Zillow, and Zillow gets lumped in with really paying anyone else to do your lead generation, in my opinion. And we're in the business of marketing, and agents need to be able to at least need to be educated enough to know how to hire someone to do it. If you're not going to take the time to do it on your own, and that is training that I've been helping other agents with, and that's been really satisfying.
Okay. One thing we talked about a little while ago was the difference between having a job and a business. When you're working for Zillow, it's like having a job. You made an analogy, and we both did. When a Zillow lead comes in, you've got to drop what you're doing, and no matter what it is.
No matter what it is.
I don't care if you're giving your kid a bath or you're in the shower or it's 3 o'clock in the morning, right? But
Yes.
What you were saying about how you're generating leads now is you've got the cost of leads down to the point where it's not life or death, right? Elaborate on that a little bit. Tell me what you meant to say about that.
I mean, what I meant by that is whenever you or your office is paying for Zillow leads, you are expected to respond instantly. That lead has cost a lot of money, and so you need to be on it whenever it happens. And so now the systems we have in place to both generate the lead, get them into the CRM, set up their home search, and go ahead and begin the text follow-up, all happens whether I'm at soccer practice or sitting at my desk. And that has changed everything. I sleep better, and I'm generating more business, and that's been the exciting part of the roller coaster. But turning that off, where I know I was getting some leads from, turning that off was a little scary. So you do need to have a system in place ready to go.
Right. And again, the reference I make between having a job and a business is, you've got to learn how to make money while you're asleep. Even Warren Buffett said that's a really important thing you need to learn about life, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what our systems do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Systems do that for us. There's a time in everybody's life in this business, and I don't want to pick on any particular speed bumps, but we all struggle, especially in times like this, Aaron. When and let's go ahead and talk about the flat squirrels for a minute.
Okay.
Dave Kennard, our president, really is the one that introduced me to this analogy, and it's kind of interesting to think about. But a flat squirrel, we have flying rabbits in Texas too, but I'm only going to talk about the flat squirrels today. The flying rabbits will be on next episode.
Okay.
But the flat squirrel is when the squirrel runs out into the middle of the street, as well as I have, and you slam on your brakes, right? And that squirrel just sits there and looks like this, like, I don't know what to do. And sometimes you can't get to the brakes fast enough. That results in a flat squirrel. Okay. So right now, as we bring hopefully some sense of closure and return to normalcy here in the real estate business, there's still a lot of agents out there, bless your hearts, who are basically at a point where they don't know what to do. Now, one thing that you've been really good at mastering in the 2 years that I've known you, but the 3 years that you've been in the business, is you've really gotten a handle on the 5.5 inches between your ears.
I've been working on it. I think mindset is key. So yeah, this is important.
All right. Audience. Tell the audience how you did it.
Well, of course, for those that know me really well, I do spend a lot of time in my head, and that's a scary place to be. You got to get out of bed and get on a walk or something for those of us that have, things running through our minds. But for me, my younger brother is, he's really a hero of mine. He's super creative. So Adam, if you're watching this, love you, buddy. He introduced me to this book here. So I don't know if I'm looking at the right camera, but Obstacle is the Way. And this is a book that, second to the Bible, the Bible's still at the top for me. But the idea of Stoicism was something I'd heard of and kind of imagined just maybe a really almost cold person. And that's really not the truth. The truth about Stoicism is to recognize how very little you have control over and focus on that and to let the rest go. My business plan did not include coronavirus last year.
Oh, I don't know that anybody's did. Yeah.
I wasn't getting between Thanksgiving and Christmas when a lot of agents sit down and kind of plan the next year thinking, what if oil goes negative in Texas and the whole world shuts down? That wasn't in there. And really it truly has not affected my thinking about business. It's affected my business, but not how I think about it. And so we're giving this away, this copy here. So Cliff's notes.
Oh, okay.
So
Great.
what did you say we're going to say? The first person to do something.
how about in the comments, the first person to type in the word obstacle is going to get a copy of this. Aaron's going to be kind and generous and send you a copy of this book that was a life changer for him.
Yep,
So
by Ryan Holiday. So if you don't win it, just go order it.
Right. There you go. Yeah. And by the way, this is not a paid endorsement.
Oh yeah,
all right?
not paid endorsement.
Yeah. No,
but
this is
it's been
strictly
really
from the
important
heart.
for my business. So thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, mindset has been key. Meredith has noticed a huge difference, and I think my kids have too. Also, just in kind of being able to set when deals go sideways to not bring that home. I mean, these are all
that
important
never
things.
happens in our business. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, it's happened in mine.
That was a total joke.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's terrific. Yeah. Mindset is what, gets people across the English Channel. I mean, the last thing you want to do is get halfway there and turn around and go back, right? I mean, you've got to punch through times like this, and being steadfast in your faith and in yourself is really key to.
Absolutely.
There's nobody there. I mean, real estate is owning. I mean, it's
a unique industry. It really
very
is.
unique. Yeah, and it really, it's all you. I mean, you're 100% responsible for your success or failure in this business. I'm sorry if you don't believe that. You need to start believing that, because it is the truth. All right, let's talk a little bit more, because I didn't mean to get on Zillow. Yeah,
Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but let's talk about some tools and tactics and strategies. Give us the tips and the tricks, because that's what this show is all about, right?
Yeah.
The tips, tricks, and tactics. How are you generating these massive amounts of leads that you guys are generating?
Okay, here it is. You can and should be generating leads on Facebook.
Facebook.
That is where you start.
Okay.
Okay. I agree with all the articles that Google pay-per-click is higher conversion rate and everything, but where your journey begins is with the affordable conversation starters on Facebook. And so
Makes sense.
just remove, if anybody in your office is saying it's not working, whatever, just stop listening to them. Come to a workshop. I mean, look it up on YouTube. Whatever you want to do, it works. And you need to be generating leads on Facebook. So that's the secret I want to give someone. Don't boost your posts. Don't do traffic generation. So go through building your own ad and make it for lead generation.
Okay.
And you will get better at it. Spend $5 a day and start testing it. If you don't have $5 a day to spend on lead generation, I would suggest you're in a challenging uphill battle. But for me, it's been a third of my Zillow budget, and I generate roughly 25 times the leads each month.
25 times the leads.
Yep.
Now, they may not convert at the same rate.
They don't convert at the same rate as Zillow, but based on text follow-up, 7.5% of the leads are responding positively to texts.
Okay.
And for me, it's ending up generating roughly 20 to 30% of my business, the rest coming from referrals and sphere of influence.
Okay, so it's not the be all end all. You're still
No.
you've got multiple systems for lead generation, whether it's referrals. Do you do any farming at all? Are you working on
All the farming
any
I do
areas?
is digitally.
Digital farming.
Digital
Okay.
farming, and that's how I look at it. So even if an ad doesn't do very well, I know that it's been put in front of someone, in
Right.
front of my market, showing me as someone that's moving real estate in the North Texas area, and that's a nice side benefit. I definitely want their name, phone number, and email address so I can follow up. And
Right.
and these are these are super targeted ads. I do think that's another secret potentially. If people think, oh, I want to do broad, I want to cover all of Dallas. I'm willing to drive anywhere in Dallas for a deal. Make it about the elementary school your kids go to, or the neighborhood with golf course lots on the golf course you're a member at.
Right.
Something you know a lot about. So when you call them up, your first conversation isn't about real estate. It's, hey, Cliff, I want to talk to you. You look like you're looking at houses on Stonebridge Country Club. I love that golf course. Have you ever played there?
Right. Yeah. No, I totally get
Right.
that. And, that's the beauty about social media
It's
is because
incredible.
even though they took away some of the psychodemographics and the other things that you can't really do on
it still
Facebook
works.
now, compared to advertising on a radio station, which has such a mass audience, only 1/10 of 1% of the people you're reaching are potential, going to be using your services within a given period of time. But the other thing is that the footprint. I mean, my gosh, why would you want to be advertising to people that are, 50 miles away from you when there's no way you can be an expert if you're a buyer agent unless you have agents in that area? There's no way you can service them properly.
Yeah.
So Facebook makes it easy to drive to the exact location that you want to be working, right?
Yes.
And that's the beauty about it. That is really
It is.
Yeah.
And the back end of Facebook works with all kinds of automation tools, and you should take advantage of them.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys have really figured it out using the basic tools that EXP provides with one or two little add-ons.
Yes.
You guys have figured out how to capture all the information you need, the email address, phone number, name, to contact that person.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
do you want me to talk about any of the platform stuff, or do we need to move on to something else? Or
Let me see. Hold your hand up in the audience if you want to hear a little bit more about this. See, look at that. There's about 15 hands going up right there. Take us just a little bit deeper in that, if you don't mind.
Sure, because it really is easy to kind of lay out, and it does take some time to set it up. But you go from Facebook through a tool, and everything we build is modular. I guess that's why I wanted to talk about this. Anything you put in place, you should always be willing to remove that brick and replace it with a better one. So lots of people out there are working hard to build better tools. EXP has an incredible platform. That's KV Core that we use as the basis. So Facebook goes straight into KV Core. The search alerts are set up automatically.
Right.
So I've got an ad running for that golf course. KV Core is going to trigger searches for that golf course, the homes on that golf course. And then we have an automated text follow-up that has been, that's really changed everything. And that is a bolt-on tool that we found and have started to utilize.
Sure.
And there are lots of options out there, so people can figure out the one they like the most. But ours, the one we've used is
Well, KV Core as a CRM, it also has behavior alerts.
It does.
It'll let you know when it's time to call a lead because they've been particularly active or they've repeated some behavior, that type of thing.
favorite a property. I mean, it's amazing.
And it's great. It's a great way to incubate and curate leads, so that you don't have to be on your phone all day long, tied to your database to just watch them whenever something bubbles up.
And I'm okay when someone unsubscribes or tells me they've already got a realtor working with them. Like that's a phone call I didn't have to make. The text system, the system already cleaned up my database for me.
Yeah.
And you save time, you're saving money.
See, that's the difference between renting a career and owning a career. You're able to control your own destiny.
Yeah.
Right? You
Yes.
control the lead flow. You control the area. You control every aspect of that.
Every aspect.
As opposed to renting a career, working for the beast.
Yeah,
right,
and
at
every
their
agent
beck and
can
call.
and should do this. I think there's a lot of agents that have built referral businesses that have been in the business if you've been in the business more than 5 years and you're doing really well, I'd be surprised to meet the agent who wasn't at least 80% referral based. A lot of them are 100%. That doesn't mean you shouldn't add this in. Why not start conversations with people that are not in your sphere?
It'll grow a lot faster.
Yeah.
Organically, your referral business is limited to how fast it can grow. If you start out in this business with the idea that you're going to work off your friends and family and grow without having additional pillars of income, you're going to starve to death for the first 14 years. That was a tongue twister, right? And then you might be able to start selling homes to children of people that you've done business with, right? And then that's how you're going to grow your business.
I mean, we all know people that build businesses all kinds of ways. I do believe wholeheartedly that every agent should have a piece of social media advertising to help grow their business.
Sure, the ROI is great.
It's great.
For now. And when they figure out how to charge more for it, they will. It's just like YouTube.
Sure.
You and I talked about YouTube a little bit. What do you think about YouTube?
Well, I'm learning more and more about YouTube. Now, of course, I've used YouTube to rebuild my truck and look up things on how to fix wells at the farm. Anything you want to look up.
DIY, right?
I love YouTube,
Yeah.
but I haven't really been taking full advantage of it as far as the life. Like these podcasts are on there, and so they're forever. And so if you talk about something that somebody wants to search later, or maybe a guest, they're going to show up, and it's there, and you can learn something, and that really is amazing. If you kind of just let that kind of sink in for a moment, that's pretty unbelievable.
It really is.
That people could listen to you and I talk about business later today or in a month, and still get the same effect that any folks are listening live. They don't get the book.
Oh, they don't get the book. Okay, you only get the book if you're watching live. That's right. Yeah.
Speaking of the book,
Yes.
We got it.
we actually did have a winner. Kevin Shaner was the first one.
Oh no, not
Kevin
Shaner.
Shaner.
Pittsburgh. Well, that's great. He needs it, man. They're in Pennsylvania. They've been shut down.
So the thing is, he says he already has the book though.
Oh.
He wants to give it to Marianne Pokila.
Oh,
She wants the book.
nice, Kev.
So she
man.
wins the book.
Go-giver.
Yeah,
Right
Exactly.
Kev, you're such a generous soul. We in a heart of gold, man. We love you for doing that. Thank you. I wish we could get Kevin to chime in on we don't have a call-in number on this
Not
show,
yet,
but
not yet.
But someday we might be able to do that.
But yeah, YouTube. So why don't I'd like to hear how you're seeing your growth on YouTube.
Well, I love YouTube because you come up organically in searches and things like that, and Facebook Lives are wonderful, but they also have a shelf life, and people aren't going to go searching your timeline to go find information. It doesn't show up in the search results on Google and that kind of thing. So ultimately, I mean, the quality is higher on the video, and stuff. I love YouTube, love Facebook. Don't turn me off, but. I mean, literally, you're starting to see some of the more sophisticated marketers, develop a YouTube following rather than a Facebook following, because you're limited to 5,000, people on friends on Facebook, and
that you can tag,
and that you can, exactly. So, it's just a different model, different thing. I mentioned to you earlier, I've heard about something called Web Talk now is big, because they're offering remuneration for people who are members, and when they create a post that goes viral, they then Web Talk can then monetize that and let you share in the income, which is kind of cool. They were doing that with like the fashionistas, or not the fashionistas, but girls that would be on
Fashion
Instagram,
bloggers.
and they'd click on the dress, and it'd take them to a link at Last Call or whatever to buy their influencers. Right.
Yes.
It's beyond me, but anyway, you guys out there in the audience know all about that. But it's kind of it seems to me a similar idea, but it really puts the power back into the people, kind of like what EXP did with revenue share. It puts the power of the business back into the hands of the people who are actually breaking their backs to build the business. Right.
Well, it's about. I mean. And I don't know how much time we've got, but it's about building a tribe, right? And so one of the most fascinating things with the internet and Facebook is that all of a sudden this platform enables you to find the best friend you didn't know existed in a place that you never would have visited.
Sometimes that's not a good idea. I've heard about relationships and marriages.
That's well, we're not going down there. We're talking about the positive.
Right. Okay.
Right. I do love their commercial with the rock climbers, and one of the things that EXP did with their platform that has been awesome for me is that I've got some friends that I still haven't shaken their hand in Pagosa Springs, Colorado. They're building business up there, getting referrals to Austin and from Austin, and to Dallas and from Dallas, because we're all together working in the same direction on the same platform.
Right.
And like that is amazing. And I know that I've taken it for granted sometimes, and maybe you have too, that's just available to us at EXP, but it's amazing.
It's such an entrepreneurial environment. We can go in here and build a business of a much bigger order of magnitude than you can when you draw fences or put fences around every location. Yeah. Isn't it just crazy that you can have a business? I'm in all 50 states, and I think all 5 provinces that were open in Canada. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, who would have ever thought something like that would be possible?
Glenn Sanford.
Amen. Which, getting back to it, we haven't pivoted. We haven't done anything different. It's business as usual for us. In fact, what's really cool is next week is our shareholders summit that was planned for Orlando at Disney World back in a month ago, is now going to be held in the world, in EXP World. And I was listening to Dave Kennard I have a call with Dave on Thursdays at 10 Central, and he was talking about how they've gone in and built this amazing room and area in the world.
How many are they going to see?
Specifically designed, and it'll handle thousands of people, right? And he was talking about how you can walk by and you can get into conversations with people. It sort of helps automate the process of fun. I mean, it is absolutely insane. The only thing I don't know if they've got completed yet are the bars and restaurants and the restrooms, because avatars, let me tell you, avatars still have to go to the bathroom. There's no question about it.
I leave mine in the room, and I just
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, that'll be fodder for another show,
Yeah,
right?
it is fun though to talk to folks that have not been used to it, right? I mean, you're meeting with other agents, and not just in the real estate world. People that are getting used to Zoom, and we've been doing it.
Yeah. I go back just to mention here a little bit. One of our luxury agents down in Austin, and I probably shouldn't repeat this in public, but I'm going to anyway, was on a call with, she's in a luxury guild down there,
Okay.
right? And that group was having the darndest time trying to figure out how to make Zoom work. Okay.
Okay.
And I don't know about you, but I've been using Zoom since it came out.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's like
Since
replaced
I met
my
you,
phone.
before I met you, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how I would survive without it. And Elizabeth was talking about how, well, yeah, I just, closed $5 million worth of business in the last 3 days, or got it under contract or something like that. And one of the people in the meeting remarked, how in the world did you do that? I mean, everything's closed, everything's locked down. And, it's been business as usual in our back office and everything. All we had to do was get creative and resourceful and figure out, get the neighbor to show the house. Whatever you got to do, right? Get the house shown get it sold, man. Look, there are people, that's why we're considered essential services. Mm-hmm. There are people who don't have the luxury to wait on selling their house or moving.
That's
right? So for us, I looked at our numbers, and we just reported earnings and things like that. And oh my gosh, I had Stacy on the show a few weeks ago, and she was telling me about how impressed she was with the sales numbers for March and April. And it was like, wow, listings are down here in this market 25-30%. All over the country, you go to New York, down 90%. Places like that, Orlando, California, they got hit hard. But as a group, it's like, wow, this is a resourceful bunch of folks we got with us, man. You know that?
Yes.
It really is amazing.
It really is.
So tell us, all right, so let's shift gears a little bit here, because you guys, you really got a heart. You've grown as a human being a lot. And I say that because, you're a good friend of mine, dear friend. I've been fortunate to kind of be close to your side here through, the last couple of years, and you've just got this spirit about you. And you partnered up with another one of our friends, agents, Bart, and you guys really just have approached the real estate and agents totally differently. You got involved in helping educate and train agents. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing on that front.
Sure. Yeah, we copied you. We did the podcast. I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. This is a neat way to reach out to folks. And so we started doing some live classes. They were terrible.
What's the name of your podcast?
Restructure.
Restructure.
Yep.
How do we find that if we want to listen to it?
So you'd need to search for R-E structure, which is annoying. We weren't expecting to get quite the growth that we have seen. But yeah, Restructure. So you guys can link it in there. Cliff, you can help us figure that out. But that's grown. And so that training, the podcast turned to training in person and helping agents set up their first Facebook ad. Just very basic.
Okay.
Like, come show up. We will show you exactly how to do your first Facebook ad.
Okay.
It will generate leads.
I'm going to start calling you the benefactor.
The benefactor.
You're the benefactor. Your goal is to help other agents. That's insane.
It is. Because we believe
aren't
we
you
can
afraid
help
you're going to
agents.
train your competition? Aren't you
No.
Aren't you afraid that you're going to lose market share? Aren't you afraid that these people are going to come back and whip you at your own game?
I'm not. That person is out there, sure, that's going to come to the workshop and and I'll end up on the other side of up against for a listing, and they'll take some of my secrets that I give in the workshop for listing presentations using Facebook, and maybe I'll lose that one. But the satisfaction knowing that I'm helping agents, and it's not just me. Bart Gurley as well, and you'll have him on soon enough, I assume. But the satisfaction we get in a month later hearing I'm showing a home to someone that came through the ad,
right,
is incredible. And we just believe that over time, the agents that are attracted to that and to us will hopefully want to come join our group, regardless of what market they're in.
But your spirit is one of contribution.
Absolutely.
And paying it forward.
Give.
And there's just not enough of that in this industry.
There's not, and maybe I was lucky. I met you, and then I had a mentor before who still pours into me a great deal and super encouraging. And so the market that I have found, the industry as I have encountered it, has been one of giving. And so I do think that I was lucky in that regard, that I didn't come into a place where people were trying to chew me up and get me to quit.
Okay, so let's dive a little deeper.
Yeah.
And I want to try to reach some of the listeners and viewers out in the audience who, let's just say, maybe contemplating a career. I mean, it's been said that we could lose as many as 300,000 agents because of the coronavirus. Not to say that we don't need to lose a few.
Yeah.
Not to disparage anybody, but we've got more agents here than we do police and firefighters and every other thing that we really do need. But if you were to have a word for somebody who's looking at this business, how important is it to choose the right mentor?
That cannot be overstated. I mean, to choose the right mentor, and unfortunately, some of it is luck. I know I said this a lot on the last episode, the last time I was here a year ago. You don't know what you don't know. When you're getting started in real estate, you don't know what your favorite aspect of real estate is going to be, because there's so many ways to serve people and communities: listings, sales, leases, marketing, office administration. So that cannot be overstated. And you really do want to be at a place of collaboration.
Okay.
And if I were to say anything about what I've learned from EXP, that to not give it a look and understand the collaboration that exists on workplace. There's so many things you and I haven't talked about that are available.
Right.
Somebody really needs to give it a good look.
Right.
And meet someone, meet an actual person that's there. If you're new in the industry, you need someone to ask contract questions to. And you need someone that's going to show you how to do an open house, invite you to those. And back when I joined EXP, there really were not very many agents. I mean, truly.
Right.
And so now,
Yeah.
the network is huge. And whether those people are your mentor or not, I love it when I hear, "Hey, I just joined EXP. You've got a house over such and such. Can I hold it open?" If I can't hold it open, I'll call my clients and ask. That'd be great. Let's help sell this house. Let's help
Right.
you grow your business. Help.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Do
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So your first year, just be honest with us. Was it fun?
Yes and no. Yeah, it was stressful. I think back on the year, and there were definitely some times where I was stressed to the max, but I did love it. This is a worthwhile career for the right person.
Do you love it more in your third year or less now?
Oh, more.
So you're falling deeper in love, huh?
I am. And before this show started, you were trying to talk me out of some of the things that I was falling more in love with. But
we always try to keep an eye on those shiny objects. Yeah, there's a squirrel everywhere trying to get your attention, right? Yeah. So tell us about this other book you have on the desk here.
Oh yeah,
You were
so this
reading
is
some things out of
it
there.
goes hand in hand with the obstacles of the way. But I did love today, so I do my Bible studies every morning. And I have this other book that's just kind of a mindset reset. So it's another Stoic book. But I loved today's. I got up and was like, I'm taking this to the show. So here's the quote. "Here is how to guarantee you have a good day. Do good things. Any other source of joy is outside your control or is non-renewable, but this one is all you, all the time and unending. It is the ultimate form of self-reliance." And I mean, just think about your day. I mean, if you're out there listening to the show right now, think about some of your best days. It might have been a big closing, but it's probably been that day that you made your wife feel beautiful because you said the right thing, or that you helped another agent, or
Listen, gentlemen, listen very closely.
Yeah,
here.
Mother's Day's coming. It was that day that you made, that you did something for someone else.
Right.
I mean, really, unless you were just a cold-hearted
Sure.
person. I mean, we get the most satisfaction from helping and doing
Do good. That's
Do good.
right. Yeah. And I refer to this all the time. Tony Robbins says, the pinnacle of life is when you can give without the expectation of getting anything in return for that.
Yeah.
And that's, helping people. That's what's, it's amazing to see through all of the noise that's come up during the coronavirus thing, to see people, helping their neighbors and things.
Hasn't that been good?
It's just been, it brings more humanness, am I trying to say?
Yeah.
Back to a world now that's just full of social media and
Yes.
people hiding behind things so that they can throw darts at each other. And, it's just crazy, that dark inner, nasty individual that probably all of us having us at some
that's
point
there
gets
too.
out.
And that's there
Yeah.
too. But we need to, as much as we need to try to tamp that down, we need to encourage the good feelings that we do have, and encourage that. And I mean, really across the board, I've been very fortunate in my life to be surrounded by people that wanted to pour into me, and I've been given a lot, and we should always be. There's no bad time to start giving back. You don't need to wait to do something. New agents, if you learn something that you know would help someone else, if there's an opening, say it.
Yeah.
Help.
Yep. Well, Aaron, all I got to say is I'm glad you were the first, and I'm glad you're the first.
This is not the last.
In the second year of Cliff's Notes. You are an amazing agent, an amazing father, an amazing husband, a great friend, and we're just so grateful to be associated, be around you, and
thank you,
and see the great things that you're doing, and today on the show, man, just sharing your stuff.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
If somebody wanted to reach out to you, maybe go to one of your trainings or something, how would they get a hold of you?
So I'll give you the link to our Restructure Facebook page that has the event links there.
Okay.
It's all free. Yeah, it's all free. It's all Zoom.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the comments.
Okay.
You can give my phone number out. I mean, I don't mind.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, 972-658-1878. Text or call is fine. But yeah, I mean, I love talking business. I learned something from so many people. I mean, truly everyone. It's been great. So I'd love to hear, anyone's thoughts on business.
Well, you're very generous with your time, and
You too.
all about you. Really
Yeah.
appreciate you being here, man. It's great.
Thank you. Yes.
Great to have you on
Yes.
board here for sure.
Yes, we sanitized.
Yes, we did. Sorry, Clay Jenkins. I hope you're not watching. I should have my mask on. Trelvis, I just want to say, man, my life is complete again. Being back in the studio with you.
It has all come full circle, Cliff.
Yes.
Mine is complete as well.
Indeed. So thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, thank you for being here. We're going to get through this together. We've turned the corner, and God's got a great vision in store for us around the other side of this. And I have a feeling we're going to be busy all the way through August and, helping people and loving on them. So you guys that are out there, we wish you the best. We're here for you. God bless you. Take care. We won't see you next week because we're going to be at Shareholders, but we'll see you the week after that on Cliff's Notes.